Welcome, fellow enthusiasts of the unexplained, to Sasquatch Watch Radio. If you're as fascinated by the elusive, legendary creature known as Bigfoot, you've found your new home here on Sasquatch Watch Radio. We're diving deep into everything Bigfoot. From thrilling eyewitness accounts and compelling scientific theories to the latest research, expeditions, and even a little bit of the folklore that surrounds this enigmatic being, we'll explore it all. Whether you're a seasoned squatcher or just curious about the giant hairy dude in the woods, you're in the right place. Get ready to have your perceptions challenged, your curiosity piqued, and maybe, just maybe, you'll start looking at the shadows in the forest a little differently. So settle in, turn up your speakers, and let's journey together into the heart of the Sasquatch mystery. This is Sasquatch Watch Radio, and the hunt for truth begins now. Here's your host, Garry Kendrick.
Well, I ain't Garry Kendrick because I don't have that nice, long, salt and pepper beard going on.
Yeah,
I hope everybody likes your hat because your hat has got it going on.
Yeah. You got Bigfoot in the front, you got Bigfoot in the back.
You got a big butt in the back.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody to another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. Today's Monday, July 28th, 2025. And we got a show tonight. Of course, I'm leaving the show, but the show's not going away because Garry Kendrick is more than capable of handling this show.
Let's hope so.
How are you doing, Garry?
Doing pretty good, Billy. If it rains much more, I'm gonna sprout gills and swim up out here. I think we had a Sasquatch sighting right here in the campground.
Uh-oh. Yep, there it is. There it is.
Good job, bud.
Well, we're glad everybody could tune in tonight. I'm sure everybody wants to know what in the world's going on with me. I know that I'm not sure what happened to it. There's Mick. I see Mick. Mick, you had put a comment in here, I guess, sometime during the week, and I saw it, and then it disappeared. So I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm getting ready to tell y'all what's going on. But before I do that, as we always have to, we always got to have a professional disclaimer. So here is my professional disclaimer. So the opinions and conclusions I'm about to share are solely my own, meticulously formed through independent Bigfoot research. These insights are the product of careful consideration, prayer, meditation, and reflection on both my past and current experiences. They do not in any way reflect the conclusions or views of Garry Kendrick or Sasquatch Watch Radio. So I wanted to get that out of the way. This is a decision that I came to on my own. So this might take me a while because I've been gathering my thoughts in my meditation for the last couple of weeks. And it took me about 6 pages of information that I'm going to share with everybody. So can you still hear me okay, Garry? Am I coming through okay?
Yes, sir. You're coming through loud and clear.
All right. Okay. All right. So here's what's up, guys. So tonight, we're hosting this special broadcast so that I can explain my decision to step away from the field of Bigfoot research and consequently Sasquatch Watch Radio. I want to be transparent with you guys. I want to be transparent that the insights I'm going to share are not based on any new empirical evidence. Instead, the decision is stemming from a deeply personal process of reflection over the years. I've dedicated many hours to meditation and prayer, and through this introspection, I believe I found the clarity that I need to move forward. So, since I began this journey in Bigfoot research back in 2004, I've accumulated a wealth of experiences. And many of these occurrences actually defy easy explanation, and by their very nature, of course, lack empirical proof. So here's where it kind of started. So back in the spring of 2005, about a year after I got involved in the field, while I was a member of the Northeast Sasquatch Research Association, that was NESRA, which no longer exists, our team had received a compelling report. There was a woman and 3 other witnesses that claimed to have seen a Bigfoot around midnight in an area known for Native American burial grounds, just a mile from the Richmond, Virginia battlefield. Now, this location was particularly intriguing given a prior Bigfoot encounter that was reported nearby during a Civil War reenactment, where a soldier described seeing a creature with red eyes that he believed to be the devil. The witness in our report described the animal as a grayish silver in color bipedal creature standing between 7.5 to 8 feet tall. Now, driven by that, these consistencies of these accounts, there were a total of 6 of us that went out and commenced an investigation. This was on July 19th, 2005. At approximately 8:41 p.m. Eastern, my 2 sons, Josh and Tim, experienced a sighting of a creature matching the exact description of the lady who originally called us out from about 80 feet away. Now, simultaneously, through roughly 100 yards deeper in the woods, and y'all have heard this story, I had a profound experience. I had observed rapid movement in my peripheral vision, followed by an immediate onset of disorientation and a feeling of sickness, and I instinctively laid down, completely disoriented, and was unable to recall how I even arrived at the spot I was at. Now, after what had felt like an eternity, which probably was only about 5 minutes, my thoughts cleared and I managed to navigate my way out of the woods. And I have to tell you guys, this event has been told to me over and over by many people that it's probably an infrasound phenomenon. Now, while I can't definitively confirm if that's what it was, I can attest to the extreme strangeness of the event. I mean, the feeling has remained vivid in my memory, and it's an experience I don't ever want to repeat. I mean, it doesn't, you don't forget something like that. And in this particular incident, that has profoundly influenced all my reflections on unexplained occurrences in Bigfoot ever since. Now, as I was thinking about all this, I started thinking about some of the things that I dug up in research. So, the earliest recorded account that I ever found, back in the day when they just called it a wild man, I found an article in North America. Okay, well, it's not really an article. It was a story that's been handed down through the years. So the earliest story I can find comes from 986 AD. And if anybody thinks that's familiar, that's when Leif Erikson and his crew landed in the New World. And this is documented by Samuel Eliot Morison in his book. Erikson had described encountering creatures that were horribly ugly, hairy, swarthy, and had big black eyes. That's in the book. Now, beyond, these early European accounts, there were numerous Native American legends and tales. Also, they speak of a creature that's remarkably similar to Bigfoot. And as written accounts became more and more common, stories of these wild men began appearing in the newspapers as early as the 1700s. The term Bigfoot itself, as we all know, was coined much later than that, October 6, 1958. That was, on the construction site that Jerry Crew was part of, where he found those 16-inch footprints at the site. So the reason I'm bringing all this history in is to kind of come to a point where I stand on this. For hundreds of years, spanning across the globe, there have been thousands of reported witness sightings and encounters with what is commonly referred to as Bigfoot or Sasquatch. The evidence collected includes numerous sets of footprints, many of which have been casted, as well as unidentifiable hair samples. Additionally, several compelling, film documentations exist. Of course, notably, we all know the 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film. And then, many know about the 1982 Freeman footage, which all purport to capture the creature on camera. Now, despite, and this is what gets me, despite this extensive anecdotal and circumstantial evidence, a critical piece remains absent: a physical specimen. The lack of a definitive biological sample is always going to be the primary impediment to conclusive scientific validation of the creature's existence. We know that. We've talked about it on shows. People talk about it all the time. Now, compounding the lack of a physical specimen is the pervasive issue of hoaxes within Bigfoot research. And we see those every single day that we get on social media. The field has been significantly impacted by deliberate fabrications, including the use of costumes, the creation of fake footprints, and the filing of false reports. And furthermore, there have been numerous unsubstantiated claims of possessing a live or a deceased Bigfoot body, as well as instances of manipulated film and audio recordings, all frequently motivated by a desire for a fleeting notoriety, that 15 minutes of fame. And these deceptive acts not only undermine genuine investigative efforts, but they also foster skepticism and make it increasingly difficult to discern credible information from outright falsehoods. And Gary, I never mentioned this to you, and I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but I found a report in your county, Dickinson County, from the 1930s. Mm-hmm. And it was a story related to someone by their father and grandmother. The person's great grandfather and two of their great uncles were cutting hay when a large hair-covered creature came out of the woods adjacent to the field. The men ran, and their dog, which had followed them to the field, ran after the animal. And when they returned to the site later that evening, they found no trace of the creature, no trace of the dog, but they found a bloody spot on the ground. We all know what that probably was. So, now I mention that because, again, there's another strange sighting. Now, our investigations, as Garry remembers, took an even stranger turn in 2010 when we got a report that emerged from Spotsylvania County, Virginia. 3 witnesses on private property claimed to have a Bigfoot sighting, leading us to designate this area as a primary focus for expeditions in 2010, 2011, and 2012. Now, during that 2010 expedition, with 5 different Bigfoot research groups, the activity there was reported every night. However, what proved most intriguing was the prevalence of phenomena that appeared that was unrelated to Bigfoot itself. Nearly everyone present experienced strange lights. Numerous photographs captured what are commonly referred to as orbs, some even appearing in the daylight photos where they weren't visible to the naked eye. These lights of various colors performed movements that defied conventional explanation. And I personally witnessed a strange red light in the woods, and these occurrences were frequent and truly bizarre. And then, Garry, you yourself were witness to these lights and orbs. I know you remember.
Yep.
So basically, the contemporary landscape of Bigfoot discourse, particularly across social media and the broader internet, has introduced an entirely new layer of complexity. And we're now frequently encountering claims that extend far beyond traditional cryptozoological theories. Discussions abound regarding Bigfoot's purported abilities such as cloaking and disappearing into thin air, or even walking in and out of portals. There's increasingly common talk of Bigfoot originating from other dimensions, and some accounts even describe the creature as emerging from UFOs. This evolution, in narrative suggests that Bigfoot has undergone a significant transition, moving from primarily being considered a cryptozoological enigma to a figure of a more paranormal nature. And this shift is evident in the current media environment, where a substantial majority of the podcasts and online shows now that are dedicated to Bigfoot are characterized under paranormal headings rather than traditional scientific or zoological headings. The broadcast we hosted a couple weeks ago further expanded my perspective and prompted deeper contemplation. Now, once again, discussions emerged concerning a Bigfoot-type creature reportedly appearing inside a kitchen, alongside additional accounts of strange light phenomena. Cumulatively, these ongoing narratives involving these unusual lights, portals, interdimensional travel, mind speak, cloaking abilities, and other inexplicable occurrences have led me to a profound realization. And that may be that we may be dealing with something far more complex than a conventional flesh and blood creature. And trust me, I've always thought Bigfoot was flesh and blood, but I've got doubt in my mind at this point, because look at how long we have been searching, just the length of time that we've been searching. it just brings more and more doubt. So it's at this juncture that my thoughts begin to converge now, if y'all will bear with me, with a biblical interpretation. I invite you to bear with me as we explore a few relevant scriptures from the Bible, because I've been thinking about this for quite some time and looking at a few things. So all this information that's been going over in my mind as I've been thinking about this. Now, this leads us to a critical question. Could we be dealing with a phenomenon rooted in deception? And let me explain that. So, well, before I explain it, this deception now has happened in the past, and this is where the Bible comes in. The answer, I believe, is a resounding yes, that this is deception. And let me explain it. So let's consider the foundational narrative of Adam and Eve, okay, the first humans on earth. Now we know that Eve was undeniably deceived by an external entity. This entity, which was devil or Satan, whichever you want to call him, is characterized by profound skill in deception. He convinced Eve that by consuming the forbidden fruit, she would transcend her human limitations and become like God, possessing the knowledge of good and evil. He suggested she no longer needed divine guidance, appealing to the concept of free will to act as she pleased. Furthermore, the devil directly contradicted God's warning, assuring Eve that she surely would not die if she ate the fruit. Now, we all know she didn't experience immediate physical death, but the process of mortality began from that very day, which did eventually lead to her demise. Now, this foundational act of deception, with its subtle twisting of truth and its profound consequences, offers a powerful lens through which to consider the perplexing nature of some Bigfoot encounters. So bear with me here. The book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 19, it says, "We know that we originate with God, but the whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one." The Bible identifies different ways that the devil exerts his influence on people. At Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 11, we're told to put on the complete suit of armor from God so that you may be able to stand firm against the crafty acts of the devil. Now we know that one of his tricks is to deceive people into believing that his agents are actually servants of God, his demons. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 13 to 15 says, "For such men are false apostles, deceitful workers, disguising themselves as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for Satan himself keeps disguising himself as an angel of light. It is therefore nothing extraordinary if his ministers also keep disguising themselves as ministers of righteousness, but their end will be according to their works." So, I know y'all wasn't expecting a Bible lesson here tonight, but these are just things that I've been reading and really meditating on. Now, consider a profound form of deception, one that subtly diverts our focus and time away from spiritual devotion. The devil, in his cunning, could readily manifest phenomena, be it a creature like Bigfoot or any other entity, to consume our time and energy, thereby pulling us away from our worship of God. Now, this same deceptive pattern isn't limited to just Bigfoot. It can extend to other mysteries such as UFOs, ghosts, other cryptids, countless of other different fascinations. And when you view this through this lens, a critical question emerges. Are we inadvertently dedicating our efforts to researching wicked spirits? Now, I personally have arrived at a point in my life where I believe this is precisely what has occurred in my own research. And this profound realization is the driving force behind my decision to conclude my involvement in Bigfoot research and to step away from this field entirely. Now, for those engaged in the field of ghost hunting, I have to bring this out. I just feel the need to bring this out. All those engaged in the field of ghost hunting, I want to share some relevant passages from the Bible that merit your consideration. Here's the question. Should we try to contact those who have died? You know, many stories tell about conversations people supposedly had with spirits of the dead. Now, one tool of deception that the demons employ is that of impersonating the dead. Now, you might ask, what's the motive? Simply to turn people away from what the Bible teaches and to weaken faith and trust in Jehovah God. Unquestionably, Satan and the demons mislead people. It started with Adam and Eve. And it says at 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 9 and 10, that with every powerful work and lying signs and portents, and with every unrighteous deception for those who are perishing. Now, here's some other scriptures to consider about the dead, or what many call ghosts. So Genesis chapter 3, verse 19 says, "In the sweat of your face you will eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you'll return." Okay, that's one scripture. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 5. "The living are conscious that they will die, but as for the dead, they are conscious of nothing at all." Here's another one, Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10. "All that your hand finds to do, do with your very power, for there is no work, nor devising, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in Sheol," which translated is the grave, the place to which you are going. And then finally, Psalm 146:4 says, "His spirit goes out, he goes back to his ground. In that day his thoughts do perish." So when you consider those scriptures, that's 5 scriptures there that do not have any indication whatsoever that anything leaves the body at death. Nothing. And I just wanted to bring that out for all those that are, ghost hunters or whatever. Now, according to the authoritative text of God's word, okay, this is coming straight from the Bible, the concept of ghosts as deceased human spirits is not supported. Furthermore, biblical teachings explicitly state that communication with the dead is not possible. So I just wanted to get that out there. It's just, I know it's a little extra, it's a little beyond Bigfoot, but I wanted to get that in there. So, in closing, I want to express my sincere appreciation for all the friendships that have forged over the years within the Bigfoot community. I've had the privilege of meeting some truly wonderful individuals whom I still consider close friends, and I intend to remain in touch with you all, even as I step away from active Bigfoot research and podcasting. Now, I will likely withdraw from most of the Bigfoot-related social media pages and the groups, but please know that I will certainly maintain connections with all my friends on my personal Facebook page. Gary, myself, and many others are going to continue to stay in contact. Now, regarding Sasquatch Watch Radio, Gary knows I'm not going to leave him without support. He knows that. I'm here to assist him in keeping the show going. And in all honesty, Garry is exceptionally well equipped to continue the podcast. I've consistently received emails and comments praising his interview skills. Several guests have even told me that they appreciate the unique questions that Garry poses, questions that they've never even been asked before on any other podcast. So I'm more than confident that he's more than capable of continuing the show's success. Now, please feel free to reach out. You know, some of you may have other questions or whatever. Feel free to reach out. You can contact me at my email, which is easy to remember. It's billy.willard@gmail.com. Or you can reach me through Facebook or Messenger, you know, if you're connected with me there. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that come to your mind later on, because you may think of something that you want to ask. So for now, you know, if anyone has immediate questions or comments, I'm finally done. I can get off of my soapbox and we can address them now if you wish. So Garry, there it was. It took almost over half an hour to get it out.
Well, I'm just going to say this. It's a sad ending for me, because Billy has always been a mentor to me. When I first got into this field, I was lucky enough to get in with Sasquatch Watch and to have people like Billy there to coach me and help me navigate through the troubled world that Sasquatch research is. And I've always looked up to Billy. Billy, you've always been an inspiration for me. And I've tried to model, you know, my style of investigation after yours, because, like I said, you've done so much. We got one from Barracks right here. I'm going to bring up. I can get this stupid mouse to work here. Thank you for this breakdown, Billy. I truly appreciate the time and research you've put into presenting such a well thought out conversation. I appreciate you, and you've given all of us a lot to reflect on.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Verax.
Digger Dog, congrats, Billy. Congrats, Billy, for your decision, and the same for you, Garry. I'll just remember that life is a learning experience.
It sure is. You learn something new every day.
Every day.
Every single day. Every single day.
Right here, Joe Dryden. No doubt Billy has contributed much to the subject. I know I've said this before on the show. I'll say it again. Every time I go to a Bigfoot event, everybody there knows Billy. And that's one of the things that I talked to my wife about when I made the decision that I was going to continue the show, is that the only thing that will hurt me is I am not connected as much as Billy is. Billy knows everybody.
Yeah,
and I'm talking about from the big dogs all the way down.
Like I said, I don't have an issue, you know, helping you out, but I'll just, you know, I'll remain in the background. So
well, I really appreciate that. And, you know, like I said, Billy, I've always looked up to you, pal. You've always been a big inspiration.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know, Mick. Mick, there's just been so many things that really has made me sway to the other direction. So, but I was always hoping it was flesh and blood. And hey, I could be wrong. Hey, y'all might find a, you know, flesh and blood animal after all. We'll see. But man, it's been a long time. People have been researching and looking for a long time. So, all right. So, go ahead.
Kelly Cockrell Fain says, I've learned a lot from both of you and many, many laughs in the field.
That's for sure. We've had a lot of good times. That's for sure. Spent a lot of hours out there searching. Yeah. And I've been with Kelly on a lot of things. We did a expedition in Kentucky. You know, she came to Virginia. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff. because we was also part of the American Bigfoot Society, the ABS. So there's been all kinds of stuff going on. Well, that's Gary's job now. Gary's going to have to find Bruce and try to talk him into it. He might come now that I'm leaving.
I don't know.
Yes, Callie, I remember freezing her butt off. Yes, I do remember being in that tent and wishing I had some more blankets. So that's for sure. All right, so I created a farewell song. So we'll go ahead and we'll see if I can find it. Okay. And name of it is Goodbye Frequencies.
The mic is cold, but my heart's still warm. Echoes linger where the laughs were born. Through static skies we built a storm. Goodbye frequencies, but you're still in my soul. You're the hum in my heart, the crackle that keeps me whole. Goodbye frequencies, but we'll never grow apart. I met your voices through the waves, found family in the words we gave. Each story shared, a memory saved. Though the signal fades, the bond remains. Goodbye frequencies, but you're still in my soul. You're the hum in my heart, the crackle that keeps me whole. Goodbye frequencies, but we'll never grow apart. Late night laughter, sunrise tears through the static of the years. Listeners, friends, you're in my veins like a song that never
All right, there it was. There it was.
That was a good one.
All right, let's see here. So you're able to chat in there now, Gary, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There you go. That makes it easier. That way you don't have to get on the phone.
Yeah, I usually, if you notice during the shows, you see me looking down a whole lot. That's because I'm answering the chat on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Now you won't have to.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, if y'all have any questions, feel free to fire them off. And I agree with you, Mick. It's my opinion, everybody has the right to their own opinion, Look, I hope it's flesh and blood. I really do. I hope it's flesh and blood. I guess y'all heard this recent news from this physicist out of Harvard. Have you heard this, Gary?
I don't think so.
So there's this astrophysicist over at Harvard that claims that they're watching an object in the sky coming at a great rate of speed. They're saying it's not a comet, it's not an asteroid. They're calling it a UFO. And they're claiming it'll be here by November of this year. And they're claiming that the United States is preparing for defense. Now, is this a wild story? Who knows? It's a crazy story, but there.
I think we've lost you, Billy.
No, did we lose me?
Lost you there for a second.
Yeah. Might be because I'm talking about something they want to censor me. That's that Big Brother.
Yeah. One of them alphabet agencies.
Exactly. But yeah, anybody's free to ask any questions. Any questions you want to. We got another 15 minutes or so.
Oh, yeah.
Of the show. That's right, Kelly. It'll be another Independence Day. We'll make another movie.
I know Kelly's from down in Texas, and I'm just going to tell Kelly it's the same here in Virginia. I don't know if they've issued, hunting license for aliens yet, but if they do, let me know.
Oh, man. It's all distractions. What was that? Mick says there's also a few stories about some ultra massive structure that's been found. Yeah, I've heard about that too. I think they got a name for it. I can't remember what they're calling that. And I saw that too. You just never know who to listen to.
It's something I've always had trouble with is the concept of UFOs. I've never really, the unidentified part is what gets me.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
It could be anything.
I know we did a conference one year. I don't remember if you was there, Billy, or not. But one of the young guys there was talking about UFOs. And I said, "You believe in UFOs?" And he said, "Yeah." And when he said that, I reached down and I picked up a hickory nut and I whipped that hickory nut right by his head. That hickory nut shot right straight across his head. And he said, "Hey, man, what was that?" And I said, "To you, that was a UFO. It was an unidentified flying object." And I said, "To me, that's a big hickory nut I reached down here and picked up and chucked at you."
Yeah, you did miss a lot, Allison. Allison, you missed a lot. We were just talking about you. I'm just kidding. She knows I'm kidding. Yes, Allison, we know. That's one of the things that's helping me make this decision. So, because, it hurts me to say this, Allison, but you could be right. All those lights and those orbs that you all got going on out there could very well be related somehow, and unfortunately. So
Eric's has got one here, Billy. Being brand new to this phenomenon, it was forced on me one night at my cabin. I found you and you all's channel looking for answers. I respect your knowledge on the subject and beyond words.
Sorry, Barracks. Sorry that we hooked you. It's a crazy field, Barracks.
It is.
Yeah, you can watch it, Allison. It'll be archived. Yes, that's it, Mick. That's what it's called. That's the reason I couldn't remember it, because if I can't pronounce something, I can't remember it.
Yeah. Kelly, I thought the same thing. I really have. I've looked into that quite a bit.
So, since Allison is just getting in here, so Allison, we've been having the past few shows actually having conversation about those orbs that we all witnessed and have pictured out there on your property. And so I guess the cat's out of the bag. Allison is the private property we researched from 2010, 2011, 2012. And we always saw strange occurrences in the sky, in the woods, of a light type nature. You know, Garry watched them. We filmed them. You know, just some strange stuff. Is that, by the way, Allison, is that stuff? Do you still see that stuff out there? Do you still? Because I know that you've built a house there now. Do you all still see those things going on? I know the show's a little delayed, so it might take her a minute to answer. But
I'm going to take a guess on that one. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that they either left or it's only very occasionally. Because I believe that once you disturb that ground, that whatever was causing that phenomenon has left.
Right. Yeah. And maybe it likes the attention.
Could be.
Maybe you get more people out there, sitting out there at night, looking in the sky, looking around. Maybe they like the attention. So if you go in the tree farm, that's where I was at when the red light passed in front of me. I was in the tree farm.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Yeah, a lot of strangeness. But yeah, Allison, you need to listen to our show a couple weeks ago with Heidi Hollis. That's an interesting show. So if nobody's listened to that show or watched that show, go ahead and give it a listen. Cause that lady's got some stories. So,
Mick, I'm going to interject there a little bit on that one. I've actually seen ball lightning twice, and the lights it was not ball lightning. This was really kind of beyond description. They were lights, but they didn't emit light. They just glowed. It wasn't like it shined enough that you could see the ground under it, in front of it, or anything like that. But it was definitely strange.
Yeah, for sure. You know, when you see it and when you see them up in the air doing things that is completely unconventional from any kind of aircraft or any kind of, there's nothing that can do that we're aware of technology wise. So, yeah, that's right, Kelly.
This was, and at times it almost seemed like it was being controlled.
Right.
Because it could follow people. We actually had it followed two guys through the woods. Yeah. Like I said, if they made a 90-degree turn, it made a 90-degree turn.
Right.
So definitely some strange things.
Yeah. Yep. Unexplainable.
Yeah, very unexplainable. I've tried for 13 years to put an explanation to it and can't. And I mean, I put some serious work into that and can't explain it.
Exactly. That's a good point, Allison. That was long before everybody's got a drone now, and, back then there wasn't, anything like that. So, and plus I think if you bang two drones together, they're surely going to crash.
Yeah. Well,
because those things were coming together and bouncing. Oh man. Yeah, Mick, I talked to a guy that saw ball lightning. He actually saw it form a few feet in front of him. He said it actually formed in the size of like a basketball, and then it like went up into the air, and he said it just disappeared once it got up so far. So I know there's different forms of ball lightning. I even saw a video once that some guy took a video one. He was alongside a railroad track, and then there was poles, with electrical wires, and it was almost like it formed off the wire and came down on the train tracks.
The strangest one that I saw, which was the last one that I saw, it actually formed in the air above the power line. Mm-hmm. And it sat down on the power line, and it followed that power line, and you could watch the power go off in people's houses as it went by.
Right. So, yeah, some strange stuff. And Garry is soon going to have Daniel Toth on the show here probably within the next couple of weeks. Apparently he's got some more footage to share. So be watching out for that announcement.
And just, so everybody knows, I'm not that tech savvy. Billy's going to help me keep it, going for a while until I can get the hang of this. But I am going to continue to bring you all the same high quality content that this channel has been based on.
Yep.
I'm not going to change, our methods. I'm not going to change the way interviews are done or anything. This has been something that's really made a kind of a big difference in me. I'm disabled. I don't work. And this has been something that's filled, a lot of my time. And it's been a big help for me. And like I said, I'm going to continue to try to bring the same content, the same everything.
Yep. No doubt. And I've already told Gary he's probably do him good to find a co-host.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To help him out. Oh, wait a minute. Is that Thomas Steenberg volunteering?
Yeah.
Did I see a hand go up, Thomas? Oh man. Nah, I know Tom's busy doing his stuff up there. He stays busy. He's a busy man.
Canada's a pretty hopping place right now, for real.
Yeah. You know what? I pray I'm wrong too, Verax. In all honesty, I pray I am. I pray I'm wrong and somebody pulls in a flesh and blood creature. But my whole decision was based on a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer, and I just felt like I was given my answer, and that's the reason I pulled out. So, but again, Gary's got a good grip on this, so I don't think he got nothing to worry about. So,
yeah, I'm gonna try. I said it in a text in the post there just a minute ago. It's hard to take over, for your mentor. It is, because those are pretty big shoes, in my opinion, to fill. And I am going to do the level best that I can to continue to bring science, continue to bring light to the phenomenon. I'm going to try to continue to keep up the same type of questionings and things. I want to continue. This is at one point, Sasquatch Watch Radio, back in the Blog Talk days, was the #1 Sasquatch channel.
Yep.
I would like to see Sasquatch Watch Radio do that again. I'd like for it to be one of the best ones out there. And I try really hard. I do put a lot of work into it.
Yep.
But, I really want to continue to bring, the subscribers that we have and stuff, a good show every week. Because, me and Billy talked about this before, when Billy made his decision to leave. And I thought on it quite a bit, and I prayed on it quite a bit myself. And I really do think that it is a flesh and blood animal myself. And I think that if you read in Genesis, it will tell you that God gave man domain over everything on earth that walks, crawls, or flies. And, I've seen some strange things that I can't explain. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm still in the camp that it is either a hominid or hominin. We are looking at a remnant population of an extinct ape species, or we are looking at what was believed to be an extinct species of primitive man. Or maybe even some combination of either one of those. And Thomas Steenberg, yes, Billy will be missed.
I'll stay in touch, Thomas. I really will. I'll stay in touch. Allison, I got a quick question for you. I don't have a problem picking up that evidence and taking it and have a geologist look at it. My question is, are you going to be around Wednesday? Because I'm going to be down in that area on Wednesday. Yep. I mean, I appreciate all the people. Okay. Yep. I'll wait for your message. Because I can pick it. I'll gladly pick it up, take it to the geologist, and let them look at it. See what it is, see what it isn't. I appreciate the people we had on here tonight, and the chat room was just blaring all night, so we appreciate that. And I know Gary appreciates it.
Yeah.
So, I think Gary's still working on his guests for next week, but I'm sure he's going to pull a good one out.
I hope so.
You'll pull
I
one
haven't had a
out.
lot of luck yet. I've been trying.
Thank you, Kelly. But yeah, I'll stay in touch with everybody. I'm not going to, take off. No, it ain't the third time. It's the second time, Mick. But if you do bring your ex-mother-in-law's meatloaf along, you can bet that you'll never see my face again.
Yeah. I'm out
I
on
can
meat.
tell you right now, I do not want to see that. That's for sure. Well, actually, you know what, Mick? You might be right. Actually, I think I did turn off the podcast for a short time when it was on Blog Talk and brought it back. So you actually may be right. But that wasn't from leaving the field. That was just from taking a break. Thank you, George. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, I remember Google Plus, Mick. I do remember Google Plus. I think that thing's long gone. I ain't heard of Google Plus in a long time. Man, you're showing our age.
Not as much as this does.
Yeah, don't start talking about Yahoo and AOL because you really tell our age. That's for sure. Chris, thank you for the thumbs up.
Allison, take care of yourself first. That's the most important thing.
Yes, Allison, that family is important, whether it's you personally dealing with things or family dealing with things. That's I almost feel like that's one of the other reasons I'm being given the answer to leave, because a real good friend of mine, his wife just found out she has breast cancer. He handled a lot of things at our place of worship, and he needs a lot of help. And, I'm going to help him with that because he needs to spend time with his wife, make sure he gets her on the mend. So, only for enterprise users, huh? I'd like to know somebody's got Google Plus because I ain't seen that thing in forever.
No.
I remember they were trying to compete with Facebook, and I'm sure. Oh, here I'll date us now and MySpace. Remember on MySpace, you always tried to have the better looking profile. You could put music and make it do little things, sparkle. Oh man.
Then that thing went away quick.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't around too long. But, all right. So, Gary, do you got anything else?
Well, like I said, the one thing that I really want to express is that I hate to see you go, Billy. I really do. You've been a big influence for me over the years. You offered me the co-host slot on here, and I was tickled to death to come in and help you out. And I hope I was a help. I hope I wasn't too much.
You were. You absolutely were a help.
But, for all the listeners out there, I'm going to try to continue to bring the same quality that we have now. Nothing's going to change.
Yep. And I have confidence that you'll do that.
We want to have good guests. We want to have good conversation and pass along good information.
Yep. All right. Well, again, it was a pleasure, you guys. Pushed it out here, another couple years, I guess, when we started this. Yep. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Trust me, I'm not going to delete. Well, Mick, if I find out that your ex-mother-in-law is on my Facebook somehow, I'm going to delete her and block her. I don't want to take that chance, but Mick said he don't do Facebook. He's just going to email me. Yeah, he probably stays off Facebook because he's afraid she'll find him.
Yeah, George, it'll be the same place and same time.
Yep, nothing's changing. Same YouTube channel, same everything. So, nothing's changing. It was a pleasure. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Gary, I know you're going to do great.
I hope so. I'm going to try to.
So everybody come back and see Gary next Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. And until then, y'all have a great rest of the week. Good night and farewell, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Sasquatch Watch Radio, the official podcast partner of Big. We've got groundbreaking news that'll shake the very foundations of the cryptid community. Sasquatch Watch Radio is incredibly proud to announce our exclusive podcast partnership with Big, the Bigfoot Investigative Group. For the first time ever, you'll get an inside look into the world of Bigfoot investigations through the eyes of true American heroes. Big is comprised of an elite team of United States Navy SEAL veterans, United States Marine Corps veterans, and United States Army veterans, bringing their unparalleled discipline, strategic thinking, and investigative prowess to the hunt for Sasquatch. Prepare for an auditory adventure like no other. Starting this Monday, tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for thrilling new interviews and occasional updates directly from the Bigfoot Investigative Group. Sasquatch Watch Radio is honored to be the official podcast of Big's Navy SEAL team, and we can't wait to share their incredible work with you. Don't miss out. Monday nights at 9 p.m. ET, only on Sasquatch Watch Radio.
Thanks for tuning in to Sasquatch Watch Radio. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. Stay connected. Don't miss our next exciting show, airing next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. To stay updated, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd also love for you to join our Facebook page at facebook.com/Sasquatch Watch Radio and check out our website at squatchradio.com. Share your stories and feedback. Your feedback means the world to us, so please give us a thumbs up on our shows and let us know what you think. Have you had an encounter? If you've had a sighting or encounter, we want to hear from you. Reach out to us through our website, YouTube channel, or Facebook page. And if you're interested in being a guest on our podcast, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next Monday night.